Brianna Ireland. This is the book Bones, and I'm reading chapter 24. Mo Reed burst into the cafe, wrestler's body canted forward and shoulders lowered. Aggressive surge, but smiling, as if charging toward victory. First time I'd ever seen him happy. Milo swallowed his tandoori chicken and wiped his mouth. At least someone's having a good day. He'd spent the night in a fertile search for street girls who knew Travis Huck. The morning had been office-bound, filed with endless phone discussions with an escalating series of high-ups of whether or not to go public with Travis Huck's identity. The debate had reached the chief's office, and the answer had just come down from the Mount, given Huck's history of judicial abuse. Wait for the more evidence. Unless a new victim showed up, nothing like body count politics. I just finished telling him about Chance Brandt's had attitude, he said. Generation N for numb. Reed sat down and waved his notepad. 2 hookers. Milo put his fork down, and the question is, what weekly perk comes with the congressional office? Reed smiled. Found him on the strip, Lou. $40 is what they charged Huck. They're both sure it was him, down to the crooked mouth. And guess what? He wasn't wearing a hat, and he is totally skinned. He flipped the pad open. Charmaine Duvalier, real names Coraine Dugworth and Tammy Lynn Adams. That appears to be her righteous ID. They both work Sunset, mostly between La Sinage and Fairfax. Huck picked Charmaine up right at the Fairfax a month or so ago, and Tammy Lynn hooked up with him 2 blocks west. She thinks it could be as recent as 2 blocks or 6 months ago, and both times Huck was cruising at 4 a.m. in the Lexus SUV. Color and style match. Banders. Guy gets to use the boss's wheels for recreation. Any unusual sexual habits? They both recall him as a super quiet. Adams admitted he'd spooked her. Admitted? These girls like to pretend that they're street hard. Nothing scares them. I pushed her a little and she said, yeah, he kind of spooked her. And in what way? Being so quiet. Like he wasn't even pretending to make it friendly the way a lot of the Johns do. Like he'd been paying for it for a long time and it was just another quickie business deal. As opposed to her, said Milo, all the romance in her heart. What I'm seeing, said Reed, is that those girls need to feel in charge so they come on tough. Makes a lot of Johns nervous, not Huck. Sounds like he was too totally at ease. And here's the dough. Deliver the goods, I said. What did he pay for? Oral sex. Anything aggressive, said Milo, grabbing their hair, talking in a hostile manner. Nope, said Reed. I think he spooked both of them, but only Adams admitted it. She's been on the streets for 5 years, and says she has a good sense for which guys are off, and Huck impressed her as one of them, but she took him on anyway. First impression, he looked well-groomed, was driving nice wheels. It was only after she got in that started to get her. By being quiet and businesslike. Zero talk, said Reed. Not making any sort of conversation. You get callback numbers for these girls, repaid cells, for what they're worth. In terms of addresses, neither of them have driver's license, and both claim to be looking for permanent residence. Ah, the glamorous life, said Milo. Yeah, it's BS, but it's all I could get, Lou. Both of did agree to ask about Huck. It sounds naive, thinking that they'll cooperate, but maybe by asking about him kicked up the fear level. He tries to hook up with either of them again. Betting they'll let me know. He spotted the woman in the sari and asked for iced tea. She said, no food. No thanks, just tea. She walked off, shaking her head. Milo said, excellent work, Detective Reed. Too bad I didn't know an hour ago. He summarized the debate about going to the press. Not that I'm sure it would make a difference. Brass is really edgy about the whole thing falling apart due to the lack of evidence. Huck's suing the city. Reed said, they really think that he'd have the balls to do that? Best defense is the good defense, kiddo. We shined this spotlight to him without enough juice. He's in the driver's seat. Can't you just see him up on the stand? Some lawyer guiding him through everything we went through in juvie? What if he's named as a person of interest, not a suspect? Milo said. That might buy us some time, but downtime isn't ready for it. His phone jangled Brams. Sturgis who? What about, oh, yeah, sure. Give me the number. He got to his feet. Let's go. What's up, Lou? Renamed faith in the flower of our youth. The woman in the sari watched us leave. Reed's tea in hand. As we exited, she drank it. The girl was barely 5 feet tall, 17, hard-bodied and glassy tan, with luxuriant red hair, light freckles, and cornflower eyes. Younger version of her mother. The two of them sat holding hands, a pair of pixies perched on a massive royal blue damask couch. The crimson silk sitting room gleamed like blood under a Swarovski chandelier, and the fixture's long gold chain was wrapped in aqua satin, suspended from a 20-foot covered gilded ceiling. Milaned windows framed velvet acreage. Massive stone fireplaces graced both ends of the room. Renoir over one, massive over the other. Both paintings looked teal. We'd waited at the Brentwood Park gatehouse for several minutes before being allowed entry. I'm so proud of Sarah Beth, said Harley Oster. She wore a plum-colored Juicy Couture velour sweatsuit. Hot day, but the manse was as chilly as a supermarket deli case. Her daughter's matching size Zero Juicy was moss green. Oster is in malls and shopping centers, Milo said. We're proud too, ma'am. His smile caused Sarah Beth to press closer to her mother. Harley Oster said, You're sure I can't get you something to drink? It was extremely gracious of you to come down here and spare us a trip to this police station. No thanks, ma'am. We appreciate your calling. It was the least I could do, Lieutenant. After Sarah Beth became embroiled in the to-do with Chance Brent at school, we made it clear that things had to change. Right, honey? Smiling at her daughter, but an elbow delivered a prod. Sarah Beth looked down and nodded. Harley Oyster said, The way my husband and I see it, Lieutenant, privilege is a blessing that should not be abused. Neither of us come from wealthy families, and scarcely a day goes by that we don't think about our lucky stars for how far we've come. Harvey and I believe blessings should be repaid in kind, and we do not tolerate poor character, which is why we've always had reservations about Sarah Beth associating with Chance. The girl appeared ready to argue, thought better of it. I know you think I'm being harsh, baby, but one day you'll see I'm right. Chance is unsubstantial and all looks, nothing beneath veneer. Worse, he lacks moral fiber in sense that makes me even prouder of Sarah Beth. Though she found herself in the company of a morality, she chose to think independently, and the girl's eyes rolled. Milo said, Why don't you tell us about it, Sarah Beth? It's just what I said to Mom. Tell them, said Harley Oyster. They need to hear it directly from you. Sarah Beth inhaled and shook out her hair. Okay. Someone called me last night over at Sean's house. Sean who? Said Reed. Capelli, Harley said. Another shallow young man. That school seems to breed them. Milo said. Someone's phoned Sean. Uh-huh, said Sarah Beth, and called Chance. We were at Sean's. Just hanging. Uh-huh. Tell us about the call. He said he was a cop, one of you guys, and asked if someone else came into the office with Chance, or when Chance was there. Chance kept pranking, said yeah over and over, and he thought it was funny, the call. The girl didn't answer. Another elbow prod made her say, ouch. Poor darling, said Harley Oyster, through tight jaws. Let's get this over with. Post-haste, Sarah Beth. He lied, said Sarah Beth. Chance, 'cause there was someone who did come in to the office. Yeah, who? He just said that he knew him but wasn't going to tell because he'd have to be pulled in by the cops again and his dad would get all up in his butthole. Sarah, Whatever, said the girl. Whatever, indeed, said the young lady. Use language in a way that advertises your virtues. Shrug. Milo said, Chance told you he lied to avoid getting involved. Yeah, yes. Harley Oyster smirked. Looks like that backfired. We found the boy at the Rivera Tennis Club, playing singles with his mother. She nearly dropped her ratchet when we walked through across the court. Now what? We missed you, said Milo. Your son in particular. Oh shit, said Chance. Indeed. The information came quickly. Chance sweated under full sun. Wise guy, pretentious, erased from his polo ad visage. Not someone he knew, someone he recognized, Milo said. From a party, yeah. Whose? Theirs. Hooking a thumb at Susan Brant, she said. What are you talking about? When the last time she threw a party, and your dad hates them. Not that, whined her son. One of those fundraisers, the boring shit that you make me go to. Which boring shit in particular, said Milo. Chance pushed yellow hair out of his eyes. One of 'em, don't know. You'll have to do better than that, son. Whatever. For God's sake, said Susan Brant, just tell them what they need to, and we'll finally be free of this. Chance bounced a tennis ball. His mother sighed, switched her ratchet to the left hand, and slapped him hard across the face with her right. Perspiration sprayed. Finger marks roughed the boy's cheek. He had 6 inches and 50 pounds on her, seemed to expand as his hand became fists. She said, You keep screwing around and I'll do it again. Milo said, There's no need for that, ma'am. Let's keep everything friendly. Do you have children, Lieutenant? No, ma'am. Then you don't know anything. I'm sure I don't. Even so, Chance said. A guy, okay. It was that Malibu thing. The lame bullshit thing where everyone wore Halloween or Hawaiian shirts and pretended to be a surfer. Susan Brant said, That's one, to us. He's referring to the Coastal Alliance benefit we attended last fall. Despite what he says, we generally don't make him go to any of our charitable events, but that one, it was an outside barbecue, casual dress, other people brought their kids, and it was supposed to be a family affair, rock music and hot dogs. To her son, you eat, you dance, you go home. Is that so bad? Chance rubbed his face. His mother said, We didn't know anyone there. Only reason we went was Steve's firm donated and senior partners were in Aspen, needed someone to attend. I saw the dude drinking beer, Milo said. Where did this party take place? At the Seth Club, said Susan Brant. Describe this person, Chance. Old, smile, like Dad. Blonde hair, bullshit hair, dyed. Yeah, so some old tool trying to look like a surfer. Big time Bondo job on the face. Bondo, said his mother. It's pretty used to patch scars. Or cars, said Maud Reed. Chance patted his cheek. The finger marks had begun to welt. Milo said, The guy had plastic surgery. The boy snickered. You think? Chance warned his mother. The boy's eyes heated. What, you're gonna hit me again in front of the cops? I could get you busted for child abuse, right? Milo said, Easy now. You never hit me before. Why you want to do that? Because, Susan Brant wrung her hands. I'm sorry, I just don't know what to do. Right. It's for my own good. She touched his arm. He shrugged her away furiously. Reed ushered her a few feet away, eye to eye with Chance. Milo said, Blonde tucked, what else? Nothing. How old? Like Dad. Middle-aged. Guy was a total tool. Fucked up hair. Fucked up how? Shaggy. Mossed up. Retro bullshit like Billy Idol. All that shit in his face like, whoa, it's true, value hardcore. Or hardware. Tell us about this guy, and dub off. He showed up. How many times? Once. When? Don't know. What was it close to when you started volunteering or toward the end? The boy thought. Start. So 3-4 weeks ago, right at the start. So this guy comes in to see dub off. Go on. Not in out. The parking lot, said Chance. I'm inside, bored. Fuckless. Look out the window and there's 2 of them. Doing what? Talking. I didn't hear what they were saying. Didn't give a fuck. That's why I didn't say the whole thing to you when you called. When this guy and Duboff were talking, did it look friendly? Mental exercise strained the boy's eyes. Dude gave Duboff something. Duboff looked happy. What'd he give him? Envelope. What color? Don't know. White. Yeah, white. Big or small? A regular envelope. And Duboff looked happy. He shook dude's hand, and then what happened? Dude drives off. In what? Mercedes. Color? Black gray, said the boy. Who the fuck remembers? Staring defiantly and calling to his mother. Come on, Susie. Give it your best shot. Susan Brantz wept. Milo said, We are going to show you some pictures, Chance. As we drove away from the country club, Reed said, One day there's going to be a domestic violence call to their house, Milo said. Good bet. Unfortunately, what the kid had to say boils down to nada. Blonde guy who drives a Mercedes and who the kid swears ain't Huck. I said unless the guy was paying dub off for something. Like what? Said Reed. Swimming privileges in the marsh. Milo laughed. Congrats, Detectives Reed. On what? Bitter sarcasm. You have now achieved optimal workplace adjustment. My bet is the guy was making a donation to the herons and gulls. Chance saw him at an ocean benefit. We're talking eco-sensitivity. Water guy, said Reed. Meanwhile, we drown. That was the end of chapter 24. Please subscribe if you like this content.